Inajasikia hiyo sauti hana masikio. Kwa hivyo mimi naambia mngojee, tunaenda kwa mkutano na msimame hivyo. Sema ya kwamba wale shop stewards wameshikwa, waachiliwe hapa.
Yes, how are you everyone? How was your day? Today, workers at JOMO KENYATTA International Airport have protested against the Adani takeover of this exact airport. And I've come to know that the organizer of this protest is none other than Francis ATWOLI. Francis ATWOLI is known for dirty deals across Kenya. He's a power broker. In fact, he shows himself as a kingmaker, which is not, by the way, true, because he has failed on very many occasions to influence himself to certain issues. Francis ATWOLI organized this protest in his home in Kilifi, and that's why he was able to pull off to this airport when the protest began. I've already done a video about why I think the Adani brothers must take over JOMO KENYATTA International Airport. It's because Kenya is going to get more than it's going to lose. And in this episode, I've come to talk about how Francis ATWOLI pulled off this protest with his hypocrisy tendencies, what it means for our country, and most importantly, the study materials we can learn from the politics of our nation. But before I do this, I want to let you know that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And if geopolitics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. So we all know today, workers of JOMO International Airport went on the streets to protest against the Adani brothers taking over the airport. They cited among very many issues, I think fear was installed in them that they are going to lose jobs, which I think is not correct. Normally, when government is going into a private partnership, there are some things which are guaranteed, most especially the workers. Okay? Because a private entity being brought on board is just brings senior leadership only. Other works is done by the citizens of that country. But Francis ATWOLI organized this protest because he failed to also cut a deal in this process. It's the reason as to why Francis ATWOLI has amassed a lot of wealth, being the chairman of trade union. To one extent, sometimes it goes in politics to influence those in politics. It's the reason as to why, after his candidate Raila Amolo Odinga losing the 2022 general election, he backtracked and joined Ruto. Not because he loves Ruto so much, but because his position was threatened. We all know in Africa, if you don't support a certain president, most especially when you are in a position which government can influence, you may end up losing that position. So the protest was organized by Francis ATWOLI, and government must be interested in this. It cannot be that a government position can be used to play deals such as that. In fact, Kenya had a protest of the finance bill. It was justified. Now, if the international committee sees even these protests aimed at the airport, it will be bad energy. It will be a bad sign of PR in Kenya, even to the investors. And I want to show you that Francis ATWOLI organized this protest. The meeting was done on Sunday in his Kilifi home by different entities in this airport. In fact, when the protest began, he rushed to JOMO KENYATTA International Airport. It is not normal for Francis ATWOLI to be seen where workers are when they are protesting. In fact, for the past 5 years, give me a protest of workers where ATWOLI was involved. Give me one, I'll be waiting. It's this protest that now is coming to the airport to say these issues. In fact, let me first give you the tape to show you that Francis ATWOLI agreed to this protest. Here's the tape.
In our national constitution, And when employer is not responding to the workers' needs in a programmed manner or procedural manner, workers are always left with no alternative other than going on strike. I personally, as Secretary General of Court, I tried to call the then Minister, Honorable Murkomen, before when this thing started, with a view of trying to educate him or to advise him to meet the workers and explicitly explain this Adan issue to workers. Our ministers are arrogant. They don't take telephones. If they are taking telephones, they are taking telephones from businessmen or employers, and they disregard workers' calls. This is very dangerous. This is what has brought all about what is happening here now. But we are prepared. We are now leaving for a meeting, and we will be reporting back. But strikes in the airports or in any other enterprises are always there. Some few days ago, I was in one of the international countries, and all airlines workers were on strike, and the delays were as usual witnessed and so on. And we are urging our members.
Francis Atwoli, he justified the protest. In fact, the protest of these workers being led by Francis Atwoli is not because he loves the workers so much. I know the only thing I agree to is the government has failed to handle the issue of Adani very correctly by, first of all, educating the top management so that the top management can speak with the workers. It's not the duty of those having a deal with the Adani workers to influence Atwoli, because Atwoli is a deal master who only wants money. Okay? When Kipchumba Murkomen refused to pick up his calls, it's because of money. This is where he gets his bread and butter. Blackmailing government entities and also using workers to get his desires, not because he wants his money. That's the truth. And if it weren't for the organization of Francis Atwoli, this protest wouldn't have been successful. That's why even when he arrived at JOMO KENYATTA International Airport, the body language and how he spoke to these protesters, it clearly shows how he influenced the protest. And this is what Francis Atwoli does. Francis Atwoli never engages workers' protest unless he has something to get. That's why workers have always suffered in Kenya. You've not seen him coming out. He normally comes out in big projects where he wants to be involved so that he can get some money. Okay? Even during protests, he thanked the workers for protesting. Can you imagine? Here is the tape.
Hajasikia hiyo sauti, hana masikio. Kwa hivyo mimi naambia mngojee, tunaenda kwa mkutano na msimame hivyo. Sema ya kwamba wale shop stewards wameshikwa, waachiliwe haraka. It's part of our conditions. Kwa hii mambo ambayo tunaenda juu yake. Na nimesema pale na press saa hii mambo ingelikuwa rahisi sana kama wangeliita chama waelezee mapema. Lakini mawaziri wetu ni watu bure sana.
Blackmailing. You clearly see him blackmailing the ministers that they have nothing to do. But in actual sense, he wants the ministers to work with him so that he can get a small thing. So he's blackmailing the ministers. Okay. So the protest in JOMO KENYATTA International Airport was influenced and organized by Francis Atwoli for his selfish needs. Okay. But also, a protest to be successful, I think there is a vacuum which the government has not addressed very well. It's upon the government to come out and address these issues, teach workers, teach the top management of JOMO KENYATTA International Airport. It may not be necessary that they should come out with an agreement and show it to the public because it can have some effect when it comes to law. But one must be pressed so that people like ATWOLI who have selfish interest can be tamed. Of course, that's my opinion. Do me a comments by commenting about this. Thank you very much for listening in. If this is the first time on this YouTube channel, I implore you to subscribe, like, and comment so that I can be motivated to do more of such videos. I'll see you in another one. Peace.